Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Evergreen Tactics. Today we're going to talk about the 5 mistakes most entrepreneurs are making and how to fix them. All right. Number 1, relationships. Entrepreneurs are very hard workers and they're very good usually at, crunching numbers and figuring things out. But sometimes we have a hard time managing all of our relationships. And I see this a lot when I work with entrepreneurs where they actually have a lot of amazing connections, but they're not responsible with keeping those connections up to date and keeping in touch with all the valuable assets and people that we know in our lives. When you really have problems, it's important to have other people to talk to about them, right? And also, when you're building a business and you don't have enough clients, it's important to have that big list of referrals and other people. So when I'm working with an entrepreneur that's having a hard time finding new clients, I usually talk to them about creating a relationship calendar and setting certain times where you reach out to all the business connections that you know and you just have a friendly conversation and not just talk business. A lot of things that entrepreneurs get stuck into is only talking business, and it scares people away. You have to be a real person, but you also have to stay on top of your relationships. So that's my tip number 1 that most entrepreneurs are doing wrong, is they don't have a set schedule for keeping in contact with either valuable relationships or family and friends, because those are also important for the mental health of the entrepreneur. And it's just incredibly important to just set aside some time every day or every week where you just pick up the phone and you call people, not just for business, more just to connect and to pick up ideas and talk to people. So relationships, it's a real big one. And remember, you always get your money from somebody else. So the more people you know, the more connections, the better your business is more likely to do. The next one is time management. I know lots of entrepreneurs who started their business and are working for themselves, and they think, oh, I don't need to set an alarm. I don't have to have, strict deadlines because I work for myself. And yes, that is true, but if you are a serious entrepreneur, you live off your calendar. You live your life as, at least when you're working, on a set blocks of time, so that you can be the most efficient. And if you're in a good entrepreneur position, you should be loving your work and you should be wanting to build it and be as effective as humanly possible. And that's where great time management comes in. That's when great productivity comes in. And that's when you are truly able to focus. See, when I'm working with a new entrepreneur, the first thing I try and do is figure out what the best use of their time is. What's something that fascinates them and motivates them and that can keep them working for the rest of their life, that they can improve on and build and build and build. And then I teach them how to automate, eliminate, and delegate all the rest. And that's what creates a truly productive entrepreneur who is 100% on board with time management, because not only does he know that most of his time is going to be spent on his most valuable, most productive, most profitable task, but he also is fascinated and motivated. Okay? That's where you want to be. But just starting out for your time management is start the day before. So plan out tomorrow, today. Break it down by hour, and you can even do minute by minute if you have to. And then at the end of the day, go over the set goals that you had and see how you did on your time management for that day. And instead of thinking about how you did things wrong, think about all the good that you did that day, all the good stuff that you did with your time management that day. And that's how you can build. All right. The next one is money. A lot of entrepreneurs, they don't have a steady paycheck. So sometimes they get big chunks of cash and then they just blow it, and then they get hungry again and have to go make a whole bunch of money, and they panic. So they're always constantly living in this big up and down. I call it mountains and valleys. And what's important to do is to first just make sure you have a system in place where you write down literally every penny that comes into your business and every penny that goes out of your business. Okay, and then You have to understand how much you're paying to yourself, as well as how much you're investing in which particular parts of your business, so that you can have a real clear identity of where your business actually is and where you can improve it. You can't improve anything if you don't know about everything in your business, okay? And that's where you start to hire an accountant, or that's where you at least have a very detailed books that you keep track of. And it's important. Actually, I don't even think you should necessarily have an accountant at the beginning if you're not making over $1 million or something like that, because you should be doing the books. You should be in control of your money and know where it's going, because you are the one that's going to be able to that's not how you say it, who's going to be able to act the fastest to fix the money problems or to solve an issue. So you should be constantly looking over your books and measuring where every penny that goes in and every penny that goes out of your business, so that you can really see what your ROI is, how you're growing, how much you're spending on marketing, and which step in marketing are you spending the most on, and then how much does your product actually cost to get to the customer, how much does it cost to get a customer. And all these things should be very well documented, so that it's just right on the top of your mind, so you know exactly how much it costs per customer, how much you're going to spend on marketing this month, how much it's going to cost to pay your employees, what's your overhead and everything else like that. It's just really important that you are on top of your money game if you're trying to be a real entrepreneur. And then next is tracking and reporting. Okay? I know a lot of entrepreneurs also started their business and they don't want to fill out any reports or do paperwork anymore. It's their business. And that's not necessarily what we're talking about. But what we're talking about is just tracking, when you're just starting out, how many people did you actually approach with your offer? How many said yes and how many said no? And then out of the ones that did say yes, how much are they going to be paying you? And then out of the people that said no, how long until you try and catch up again with them and see if you can get them to say yes? So track and report almost everything in your business, so that you can come down and create a beautiful formula of how to get more customers or get more profits or get more products. Or you can even do this when you're just trying to negotiate with people, and you can start to track, well, I had this many phone calls and I had this much success. My business partner also had this many phone calls and had this much success. And you just start to track and report all the little things. And you can really start to get a beautiful picture of what your business is doing and what you could be doing on a daily basis to improve, or what you could be doing hiring someone to improve your business, because you've been tracking and you've figured out how many people you have to reach out to get a yes, or how many people you have to reach out to get a sale, and how much money you can generate per day by how many people you talk to. And it's not just people you talk to, but just tracking and reporting. It's just so important. And once you really get down and dirty with it and you have it all set up and kind of automated, and you can just plug in the numbers at the end of the day, and then you can get a full report every month and then a full report every year, it just creates this sense of knowing about your business that most entrepreneurs who fail don't have. They don't have the numbers of how much their customers are reaching out to them and how much they are reaching out to their customers, and they don't have the report about how much time their employees are wasting on the job, or how much time you're wasting on the job. It's just important to create systems where you can track and report everything that you're doing. All right, and then finally, it's strength and confidence. Most entrepreneurs aren't constantly working on their strengths and confidence. They are mostly getting really confident in the beginning and then turning into a little baby as their business keeps growing, and they're just scared children. Whereas if you are a real entrepreneur, you're going to keep building on your strengths. You're going to reinforce who you are and that you belong in the market and you belong in this industry, and that you are going to keep on building your confidence day in and day out, so that whenever a situation comes up, and it's going to happen, that you don't like, you're going to be strong enough to overcome that obstacle instead of falling to the wayside or giving up. So you have to really, as an entrepreneur, you really have to work on your confidence. And the way that you can do this is you can start by having small confidence in said hobbies or small things, and then you try and build that up as big as you can, and then you take it into the rest of your life. But the real problem with confidence in people is that they think that confidence is something that has to happen on the outside so that they can feel confident on the inside. when in reality, confidence has to come from the inside and then have to come into the real world so that it can have an impact and it can show who you are, what you are, and how confident you are in what you're doing. And confidence is a real key in being a successful entrepreneur. So those are the 5 mistakes that most entrepreneurs are making, and a quick tip on how to fix them. If you want an entrepreneur coach, click the link below or go to evergreentactics.com/entrepreneur coach. I'm here for you. I'm a real person. You can reach out and we can talk. All right, take care.